And hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn a Trade. My name is Kevin Tate. Glad to be here with you all today. The name of today's broadcast is For Real Blender Repair. I figured this would be a interesting video for those of you that are familiar with the For Real blenders. I've done a few videos on those in the past, and if you like, you can always check them out on our playlist. You can go to the For Real Blender Repair playlist and check out all those videos as well. Um, but today's I found it kind of interesting because I was it had a leak. That's what the initial call was for a blender that was leaking. But then the owner of the site said that he had heard it a loud pop, a loud popping noise, and then he seen just water was just flooding the store. So they um, they got a little, you know, nervous and were trying to see how they could stop the water from flowing. They shut off the. He says he shut off the main water, but water was still flowing out, and of course it would because these blenders do hold a substantial amount of water in the tanks. So even with the main water being shut off, it's going to still leak out if there's a leak internally. So I wanted to, kind of go over this video, a few of these clips with you, just to let you see what's going on with it. And if you can make it out, like up top here, right up in this area, there's um there's a wire right here, and you can see it dangling. There's a wire dangling there. That's the merchandiser wire. It's a red wire and a black wire, and then it's connected to the control panel here, which is inside this box here. But what they did was they got so nervous about the water and trying to keep the water from flooding their store. They were trying to move the blender, and I don't know if you can make it out, but there's a lot of equipment like right next to it. Right over here, there's like a cookie oven for cookies or and pastries, and then they have a small Frigidaire ice maker right up top there. The little silver piece there. So the small ice maker they have on their site, and then of course you got the For Real freezer is right next to it, and then there's equipment next to that. So it's not a lot of room to move around. Uh, air, uh, a store like this, you definitely need a lift table to put that on so you can work on it and move it around. So what they did was they were trying to move it, and they must have lifted it up a little bit, and it hit the merchandiser up top here. The merchandiser sign that hangs right up here, it hangs right on this silver strip, right on here, the silver bracket. Um, the merchandiser hangs on there, but what they did was when they were trying to pull the blender out, it hit the bottom of the merchandiser and knocked it off. So when it fell, the wires pulled out, and then it caused a little damage to the merchandiser as well, which I'll show you in a few. But so I ended up having to rewire, fix those wires and reconnect them to the merchandiser and get that back up in place. But as far as the blender goes, I found something that was pretty interesting because I've actually never seen this happen before, but this had a number of leaks in it. This was one. See if I can make it a little bigger for you, but right here you'll be able to see it a little better in some other pictures that I got. But right here, there's a plastic T fitting, and then coming off of that T fitting is a water line, and that water line burst. It's a braided line, so uh, the outer layer of that line burst, and that was where the main leak was coming from. Okay, and then so I was able to repair that. I replaced this flex line with a new line, and then secured it back to the T, and then I fixed that wire. And this is that ruptured line that I was talking about. You can see it goes up to the base of the inlet valve. This is the single inlet valve. Just above that, there's a triple valve, a three-way valve that's above that. But um, this is the single inlet valve. And this was the line that was leaking right here. So I replaced that line, uh, put a new fitting on there, and that part of it was good. So I took care of that. And then let me show you this is the merchandiser that I was talking about. So you can see it's kind of crushed in when it fell because they knocked it over. So it's damaged in a few places, and they're gonna they're gonna send them a new display for that, a new display cover. But that's what happens when there's leaks, man, because there's water flooding the store, and the rug that they had down was all wet and everything, and they just couldn't get to it fast enough to be able to shut it down. And that's what happens when these with these tight stores, small stores, and they got tons of equipment all on one small counter, and it's just difficult to get around the equipment and get to the shutoffs as well. But even though with that tube, that water line being ruptured like that, that's going to be pretty hard for them to be able to stop that. That's something you just can't control. Um, this is the line after I got it out. This was the line when I took it out, and let me just see if I can zoom in on it a little better. Yeah, yeah, right there. That's the rupture. You see how there's it's just like the front, like the top layer. The middle layer is still intact. The center layer is still intact, but that outer layer is what let go. And there's probably also damage elsewhere within that inner line that was seeping out also. But um, that's that was they had a lot of water coming out of there. And then let me see if I can go to this is the other part of it that I have never ran into before, but I did today. And it was interesting because This this right here, this is the scour heater. Okay, it's at the base of the unit. It sits on top of the water pump. Okay, the Procon pump and motor. It sits on top of that and connects to one side of the Procon pump as well. But you can't really see it from here. But this tank, let me see if I can expand it a little bit, and you'll be able to see. You can see some water trails right here going down. See it right around the top there, around that terminal, and then it's running down. But the this tank is actually leaking. Like most times when I see these tanks leak, I see them leaking from this port, this top port right here. They're usually like be a few drips coming out of there, and then you know that it has a faulty uh, scour heater. But this one, it wasn't doing that. There was no water coming out of here. But what I found was once I got everything back together, I went ahead and started it back up to get it running, and I wanted to do a test blend to test some product, and it was leaking again. And I was thinking maybe I didn't clamp something down or something like that, but it was nothing like that. It was basically this tank on the back side. There's some like little pinholes on the body of this scour heater tank. There's little like pinholes on this opposite side, right over here, and steam and water was just it wasn't gushing out of there, but it was like a smooth, like a straight mist of water flowing out of there and steam. And I really wouldn't have seen that until I was able to test it out. So I'm glad I was able to get it um, back together to where I could test that out. But that's what was happening also, along with this line that was leaking. And you can see this right here is the line I replaced it with. This is the new line. But this scour heater, it was leaking as well. It was leaking out. It was spraying up against the back wall right here. And then it was just all dripping down and then dripping out of the front. But that's what was also happening. And that shocked me because I never seen these tanks leak from small pinholes in the metal of the tank itself of the heater. So it must have rusted from the inside, and then it created these little pit holes, these little holes in there, and then caused it to leak out. So that's something that had to be ordered. For real, I spoke with for real, and um, they're gonna go ahead and send out a new scour heater, and then once that scour heater arrives, then I will go back and put the scour heater in, and then do a test blend on it. Which it worked out that I was able to catch that, because if I didn't see it, then I would have left the site, and then I would have got a repeat call for now the machine's still leaking. So that was something interesting to catch it on. Yeah, and then right here is just another picture of the heater, and you probably can't make it out, but back here you can see where it's wet. It's still wet up against the wall of the machine, but the water is coming right out of the little holes in the side of this heater, and then when it heats up, you can see the steam coming out of the little holes, and then you can see the water also spraying up against the wall and against that tube. And then now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking maybe, I mean, anything could be possible, but I'm thinking maybe the hot water that was coming out of there over time, maybe that caused this tubing to get worn down and damage, and then burst like that. I'm not really sure, but that I'm just assuming that. But that heater definitely has to be replaced. And this is what made me go back to look at that heater, because this when I was trying to do the test blend, this error came up during the blend cycle. As you can see, it says sorry, and then blender is not working. See store associate for help. And then I wanted to show you what comes up when you get these errors. And this is, this is another reason I like the way For Real did this, because try and get it blown up so you can make it out. Okay. So right down right down below, you can see it says the serial number of the machine, and it gives the serial number, and then it shows error code, and it says EX78. Okay, and you see that barcode right there? That barcode, if you scan that barcode with your phone, and this is important for you guys out in the field, especially um, your technicians that are working in the C stores. You're working at the 7-Elevens, Cumberland Farms, Circle K, wherever. You're going to see these units all over, and just remember, some of you may know it already, but if you scan that barcode, that will give you it will download it'll will allow you to download a video to go through the steps to correct or fix that error code. And you just scan that um, QR code, and then it will allow you to upload a video that will show you how to fix the problem, or how to troubleshoot the problem and figure out what steps to take next, what parts you may need, and stuff like that. So this was just something that I wanted to go through with you to kind of show you what happens on some of these job sites. And hopefully this was helpful to you all. Let me know in comments. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I also would like to remind you all that if you are interested in attending a free FBD training in Texas, San Antonio, Texas, send me an email to the email that you see on the screen, and I will add you to the list of potential attendees. This is not a training that's going to happen right away or anything like that, and it's going to be free to all attendees. You'll just have to pay your travel and your lodging, and then for a hotel or something, and then you can come attend the FBD training at their location in San Antonio, Texas, which is nice because you'll get to see a lot of the equipment on the line getting assembled or being taken off of the line. getting ready to go out into the field, and you'll get to meet some other technicians that are interested in the same things that you're interested in. So um, you know like mine. So just take that opportunity. Send me an email if you're interested in attending, and I will add you to the list, and I will get that over to Mike Reed, who is in contact with the FBD personnel who are willing to set this up for us. And I'd like to thank FBD for that opportunity as well. And we look forward to doing more things like this. So take advantage of it if you're able to attend. By all means, look into it. So I just wanted to leave you with that, and then also I want to leave you with F some for real um, tech support line information there. That's for real tech support line. That's for their tech support. Okay, and then they have a number where you can reach tech support through a text. Okay, now let me explain before I go on this. You can text FBD, and then you have to be patient because they may be in meetings or whatever, or they may be online with other technicians or service providers. So be patient when you use the text. But when you do use the text function, excuse me, when you do use that text function, make sure that you include the location that you're at. Okay, the customer location, include that customer location, include the model and serial number of the equipment, and if you have it on a work ticket, add in the work ticket number as well to make things easier on them and also easier on yourself. So you don't have to go back over things. Just make sure you have the customer's name and address, the model and serial number of the blender, and then and also the work ticket number. And then that way, if there were other calls in the past, they will be able to see all of the notes and everything on that particular machine. Okay, so that will definitely help you out. But definitely take advantage of that text line, because when you're busy on a job site, you can just go ahead and send them a text letting them know, hey, I'm at the site. I'm taking the machine apart. I'm taking the panels off or whatever. And boom, they'll get back to you, hey, what are you seeing? Um, we just need you to do a diagnosis, or we already know what they're going to need. Um, Please send us some pictures or something like that, because they're big on having pictures, and you want to make sure you get good pictures that you could send to them, because they will ask you for pictures of certain things just so that they can see what it's looking like. Okay, so that's all I have on this right now. I thank you all for joining me. I hope this was helpful to you, and again, I'll see you on the next one. Take care and stay well.